Chapter 3. And thirdly, more than 30 years after the Sharaku incident, Hokusai, having gone through the rapidly changing Kansei, Kyowa, Bunka, and Bunsei eras, had established a workshop and employed many apprentices. He was, in essence, the company president, but he left the management to his wife and daughter, Oe, while he himself devoted himself to creating numerous ukiyo-e prints, illustrations in a dramatic style, and even the Hokusai Manga, drawing pictures in a wide range of genres. He repeatedly used various pseudonyms, demonstrating his versatility and prowess, and was a leading figure in the flourishing of Edo commoner culture during the Kasei Bunka Bunsei era. To reiterate, it's important to emphasize that the Hokusai Sharaku performance, which could only have been accomplished by Hokusai, a painter with a mad spirit who is said to have left behind over 30,000 works over 70 years, could not have been done by any other ukiyo-e artist. The mysterious artist Toshusai Sharaku, concocted by Hokusai and his publisher Tsutaju, was undoubtedly Hokusai, but by this point in the Bunsei era, 1823-26, more than a quarter of a century later, it may have become irrelevant to him. The year was 1823, Bunsei 6. Hokusai, who was in his mid-60s, received a large number of painting commissions from an unexpected source. The Captain, Dutch commercial officer, Captain, who traveled to Edo from Dejima in Nagasaki every 4 years, Edo Sanpu, had personally commissioned Hokusai to create an illustrated scroll. This was an unexpected job for Hokusai, who had his own workshop. Moreover, the order was generous and offered a 4-year production period. Around this time, Hokusai was publishing the famous Hokusai Manga, creating dramatic illustrations in collaboration with the popular author Kyokute Bakin, and producing numerous erotic prints. He had gained a reputation not only as a ukiyo-e artist, but also as a versatile artist, and his fame was known even to the Dutch in Nagasaki. He continued to reign supreme as the top leader of the Edo ukiyo-e industry. The theme of the picture scroll commissioned by the captains was a lifelong history of Japanese men and women, and the order was for 2 sets of the same scroll, a somewhat unusual theme. The captains and another person who commissioned Hokusai wanted to take it back to Edo as a souvenir upon their return to the Netherlands, making it a truly extravagant gift. The promised 4 years passed by in the blink of an eye, and the 2 picture scrolls were completed by the deadline, the next visit to Edo, spring of 1826, Bunsei 9. Hokusai, accompanied by Oe, carried the scrolls to Nagasaki in Nihonbashi, the intended delivery location, and handed them over to the captain who came to pick them up. However, an unexpected problem arose there. Waiting there were the newly appointed captain, who had taken over from his predecessor, and a young man claiming to be the captain's personal physician. The captain accepted the documents with satisfaction, having fulfilled the duties he had inherited from his predecessor. But the other man, for some reason, responded with a hint of dissatisfaction. "Unlike the captain, I'm only on a fixed salary, so can you give me a discount?" he complained. Hokusai was half exasperated and simply took the documents back with him. This was the 3rd stumble. That man was Franz von Siebold, who would later cause a major incident. He harbored ambitions of personally connecting with Hokusai and had set up a scheme. Although he was only 30 years old, his experience and knowledge made him a shrewd operator. There was a 37-year age difference between him and Hokusai. Shortly afterward, the other party contacted them, and the exchange of the picture scroll was completed without incident. However, the trap Siebold had set at that time would later lead to a 5th stumble. Siebold then made an additional request. He commissioned landscape paintings of several specific locations in Edo, and carelessly accepting this as a reward at that time would later lead to a terrible incident. Actually, around that time, another problem was beginning to simmer within the family. To be continued in Chapter 4.